How are you today? My name is Elizabeth Willett, Senior Fertility Herbalist with the Natural Fertility Company. We are the naturalfertilityshop.com and naturalfertilityinfo.com. Thank you everyone who's joining, and to all replay viewers, I'm grateful that you are watching as well. Today we're going to talk about some foundational supplements. I want to revisit this because we've been talking about, as a team, some easy ways to support your fertility. Easy things you can do, things that everyone should be doing, both men and women, on a daily basis. But anyway, going back to some foundational stuff because it's easy, it's often inexpensive, it's helpful to most everyone, men and women, and I have a few things to show you, a couple of different props. That makes it fun anyway. So we publish on our site 3 supplements that men and women should consider, and I actually have 4. I wish I could add to that, add to the list. I probably can at some point. But anyway, everyone should have or consider taking a multivitamin, a whole food multivitamin. This is true in pregnancy as well, but a prenatal one in pregnancy. While we want you to be eating a whole food fertility diet first, as many fruits and vegetables as you can, whole grains, low carbs, but also eating carbs, legumes, nuts and seeds, healthy fats, things like that. It's always good to consider having a multivitamin as an insurance policy, if you will. Not all of us are perfect at eating a clean diet all the time. Not all of us can afford only organic food. Many of us slip once in a while and binge on our favorite thing, or have a day where we're not at our own home able to cook for ourselves, and we've got to make the best choice possible, which still might not be the cleanest meal while we're out. So a multivitamin is just a way to ensure that you're continuing to get all those great nutrients, and a whole food multivitamin at that. You may know, we have Fertile Woman One Daily in the Fertilica line of products. It's an amazing 1-a-day whole food multivitamin. 1 a day, isn't that awesome? A lot of whole food multivitamins are not 1 a day. And the other benefit of Fertile Woman One Daily, specifically for women, is that it contains a blend of herbs that are specific for female fertility. I just dropped that one on the floor. So it's for preconception for women, and it's got some herbs in it that are specific for fertility. It's a tablet. I know this looks a little bit biggish, but you can actually just break them in half. I just did that right now in my hand, and take half if you're not a good tablet swallower. But again, whole food, wonderful insurance policy for your fertility diet. And there are many whole food men's multivitamins out there as well. In fact, Mega Food, MEGAFOOD, Mega Food makes a men's 1 a day. If your hubby is in need of that extra support and doesn't want to take a ton of extra pills. It's not, oftentimes men aren't fans, right? So consider a whole food multivitamin. It's something almost everyone should be doing daily. And in pregnancy, a prenatal multivitamin, which I'm sure you're already taking. That's great. What next? Good fats. So recently there was a publication that kind of spanned social media, which freaked us all out for a moment. In fact, the American Heart Association said that we shouldn't be eating coconut oil based on some research. And while I am not a doctor, not a researcher by trade, I have done research on my own to a degree, I am hard-pressed to believe that advice. I don't know of any research that truly proves that coconut oil is the reason why people have healthy people have high cholesterol. If you're healthy, you don't have high cholesterol. Anyway, I'm not going to go on a rant. I just don't believe it. I can't buy that we shouldn't eat coconut oil. So if you're seeing that on your social media feed and you are consuming coconut oil, don't freak out. We need to have a certain amount of healthy fats to produce hormones, to help our cells function, to form the healthy cell membranes in our body. Our whole entire body is cells. We need healthy fats for our skin to look plush and supple. We need healthy fats for our smooth muscles to function properly. So beyond the fertility benefits of coconut oil for hormone balance and cell production, eggs and sperm are cells, and having a uterus that doesn't scream out in pain every moment of every day, We truly need healthy fats. So cutting back on unsaturated or saturated fats, with the exception of healthy saturated fats like avocados, walnuts, most nuts and seeds, in fact, but those oily nuts and seeds, coconut oil. Coconut oil is not always highly processed. That's not entirely true. I would encourage you to continue to do your research. I don't want to argue here. I don't mean to discount the research that has been published. I value the American Heart Association, but anyway, I just really need you to go out and do your research on coconut oil because it's not as bad as they're making it out to be, I don't feel. We need healthy amounts of omega-3, 6s, and 9s in our diet, and that's just really the end-all be-all of it, to be honest. So let me continue with good sources of fat. So nuts and seeds, free-range eggs, those chickens that just forage out in the land, coconut oil, cod liver oil, borage oil, flaxseed oil, evening primrose oil, olive oil, wild Alaskan salmon and halibut. There are fabulous sources of healthy fats for us, and we need that for proper hormone production, proper cholesterol production. Avocado, someone's saying yes, absolutely. All things like that. So we should be making sure that we're getting good fats and omegas in our daily diet. It's truly necessary for balance and healthy function. And if you're not sold on the coconut oil thing, choose something else. If you're worried about it, choose something else. If you have high cholesterol or a history of heart disease, choose a different healthy fat. Choose one that isn't questioned, or talk to your doctor about what you should do. These aren't the tips that I'm sharing may not apply to you if you have a heart health issue, or if you've got something that you've learned that you can't take a specific food for, right? So if you have an intolerance to something, you don't have to take that specific food because I mentioned it as a healthy fat or mentioned it on this talk. But just be cognizant of your own health needs, and work with your doctor if you truly have a question, because there are alternatives to things, and not everyone has to consume the things I'm saying here. And next, if you're interested, or maybe some of you are already taking royal jelly. We love royal jelly here. Royal jelly is the substance fed to queen bees that make her the queen. It's a pretty amazing job for the bee that gets chosen to be queen. This is one royal jelly capsule from the Fertility line. It's equivalent to 1,000 milligrams of royal jelly. Definitely an amazing product, but it's filled with nutrients, vitamins, minerals, fatty acids, lipids, amino acids. It has and contains iron and calcium. It's incredibly nutrient rich, and it contains acetylcholine. You can learn more about that if you want to, but ultimately what acetylcholine is for the nerve messages from cell to cell to happen, the transmission of the messages from cell to cell. So it can be helpful with hormonal balance and support the endocrine system, healthy endocrine system function, which ultimately all of these nutrients do anyway. And then what next? Greens. I think everyone needs to be eating greens as a part of their daily fertility diet. You can take royal jelly with your daily vitamins. Yeah. So I understand that when you hear you should have 5 to 6 servings of greens a day, you're like, oh no. Yeah, well, I should, but I don't, right? I mean, I do that. I don't always get 5 to 6 servings of greens every day. One way to make that super duper simple is Fertility Greens. Shameless product plugging. I love this stuff. In fact, I even feed a little bit to my children. I do. I really do. I wouldn't suggest it, but I do. 2 teaspoons. This is a tablespoon, but 2 teaspoons is all it takes for 1 serving of greens every day. It's a crazy easy way, as would be another greens powder if you have one that you love. Spirulina, organic spirulina is fine, or spirulina, however you say it, is a great way to get 1 serving of greens every day to help you achieve that 5 to 6 servings. The other thing I had to show you, which I didn't intend on doing, but I realized that I should because I made a salad for my lunch today. This is my lunch. It's a normal bowl, cereal soup bowl, right? And in here is 1 cup of kale that I've massaged with white balsamic vinegar and extra virgin olive oil, a 1/2 cup of green pepper chopped, a 1/2 cup of cherry tomatoes chopped, and a 1/2 cup of cucumber chopped. So 1 cup of kale, half a cup of cucumber, half a cup of cherry tomatoes, and half a cup of pepper. And I have 4 servings of greens right here. And I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I do get my greens every day. Fertility greens and a small salad for lunch. I mean, this is not a lot of food. This is probably not going to fill me up for lunch today, but it's several servings of greens. And the reason that I'm showing you is because it's a lot easier than you think. When you see in type the number of servings and that you should have of specific foods every day, it can look daunting. But when you actually do it, you're like, what? I have several servings of greens right here. Or several servings of vegetables, excuse me. That was super easy. So the rule is 1 cup of dark green leafy vegetables is a serving and half a cup of anything else. So if you don't like any of the vegetables I put in my salad, I'm not telling you to make this exact salad. You could pull whatever you've got in your fridge. Half a cup of carrots, half a cup of whatever else you want, frankly. And with a cup of greens, you choose 2 or 3 different vegetables combined together, and you've probably got 2 or 3 servings of your vegetables for the day. So my point being that it's so much easier than we make it out to be. And Fertility greens can make it even that much easier. So remember, reminder, I guess, a whole food multivitamin, a quality omega supplement, including healthy fats in your diet, learning more and considering royal jelly, and Fertility greens or a greens powder of some form to help you meet that daily requirement of greens are all things that both men and women can consider on a daily basis when they're on their fertility journey, and certainly if you have a fertility health issue. So yeah, that's the down and dirty of it. All right, well, I think I'll end on that today. So I hope this is helpful as I do all of my talks. I know it's probably a lot basic for some of you, but when you're on this journey, there are some foundational things to consider, just as, like I said, that insurance plan, and for that overall support, foundational support to keep you going every day and help you meet those levels of nutrients that we suggest you get on a daily basis to support your overall health, but your fertility health, of course, and health of eggs and sperm and everything that's going on in there. So take your multivitamin, your whole food multivitamin, your omega supplement. Keep eating your coconut oil if you're using it. If you don't want to, choose a different healthy fat. Make yourself a super easy salad, and consider a green supplement if you want. And if you have specific fertility health issues, there may be additional nutrients that you can consider or learn about. You can reach out to us. We have an entire team here to help you with information and educate you about what you can be considering. So you're welcome. So thanks for joining, and I hope you have a good remainder of the week, and we'll see you next week.